Today I'm going to be making these spider web blocks for my quilt. This is a king size quilt following the pattern Starry Night by Good with Sugar. This is what I'm working on, and this is what my finalized pattern will look like. I have the pop pieces right here. I have my background fabric, which is being used here, right here. These are my center pop panels, which are right here. And these are the background fabric pieces that are being used to make the flying geese. I am going to be making 4 of these panels all at the same time today. So I'm just going to batch them out and let you guys see how I accomplish a flying geese, how I connect it all together, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Okay, I have my background fabric facing up, and I'm going to take the pop panel, and they're going to be faces touching. So I'm putting this face down to touch the other face. I'm going to line up my corners, making sure everything's nice and straight. And then I'm going to pin one side like so, taking my ruler from corner to corner, since I'm using the flippy corner method for these flying geese. Corner to corner, pinning the other corner. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and prep the rest of these to match. And like I said, I'm batching 4 different squares today that are all matching fabric. So it's gonna take me a moment and I will be right back. I've gone through and prepped all 16 flying geese with their first half, marked and pinned, and I'm just going to run them all through my machine. All right, and now I'm going to complete that process for the other 15 as well, and I will be back in just a moment. Now that I've gone through and sewn the center line of all my flying geese, I'm going to remove the pins and clean up my edges. I'm going to do this for all of them, and then I'm going to cut away the corners, which is what makes this the flippy corner method. So I'm actually going to be cutting away this outside corner. I want to leave a 1/4 inch seam, and this ruler allows me to do so by putting that yellow line right there along the seam line. Then I'm going to take my cutter and do so right like that. All right, now I'm going to do that for the other 15. Would you stop there with ironing your seams open, or would you personally do as I'm doing and open them up for this project? Comment below and let me know what you would do. Okay, now I'm going to repeat that process for the other 15. Now that I have them all ironed out and the seam lines are folded open, I'm going to pin this to the other side. Remember, we're going face to face. like this, lining up all of our corners, putting a pin right here, drawing our line, pinning again, and sewing along this line. And then once we're done there, we'll cut off this corner, flip this piece over, and have our completed flying geese. Now I'm going to do the same to this stack. Now I'm going to run them through the machine and sew along the black line. Now let's turn this stack 15 to look like this. Okay, so my next step is going to be removing these pins. After I've removed the pins, I'm going to clean up these stray bits of fabric, or thread, sorry. Clean up my stray thread, and I'm going to cut this corner free. Okay. Now we just need to do the other 15. Okay, now that we have all of these done, let's go iron them out so that they look like proper flying geese. Okay, we have the first one done. Now let's magic out the last 15. All right, now we have all of the flying geese ironed. The seams are folded open, and we just need to go pin these to the background pieces and to the center panels. We are making some serious progress. All right, now we are going to go face up, down to the other face, pinning at each corner. And I'm going to do that to half of the flying geese on both sides. All right, let's do the half of these that I need to this way. And we've got all of those pinned. Yay! Let's set these to the side, and we're going to pin the flying geese to our pop panel. Now remember, you don't want it face up. You don't want the arrow pointing away from you. You want it to point at you like a V, pinning at each corner and in the center. All right, now I'm gonna do the same thing to this side and to my other 3. All right, now we just have to run all of this through the machine. Let's go. Okay. I've already adjusted for the proper foot that gives me the 1/4 inch seam. All right, we've got 1 done. Now, let's get this stack done. All right, now that we've sewn both sides of the flying geese to the background fabric, let's go ahead and do this stack. All right, now we have 1 of them done. Flying geese are connected to the center block. Let's do these 3. Okay, now we have everything sewn together. We just need to remove all of our stray strings, and then we will iron everything out. All right, let's iron all of these open. All right, let's do the seam lines. All right, now that we have that side done, we're going to do this one and repeat this same process through this stack. Okay, now like I said, we're going to do the same process to these 3. All right, now that we have got all 4 of these done and ironed out the way that we need them, we are going to accomplish this stack of 16 flying geese connected to the background fabric. So I take this, making sure this stays right like this, and folding it to the side to where that seam stays flat, and I just iron over it. Nice and easy once. Do the other side. All right. Ooh. Alrighty. Now I'm going to open up these seam lines and I'm going to starch them down flat. Alrighty. Now let's starch them down. Alrighty. Now we're going to do the other stack of 15 to match this one. And we are finally starting to be able to see the star shape coming together. Oh, this is my favorite part. Okay, let's do this stack now. All right, now we've got all of our flying geese with our background fabric attached, ironed out. Looking so good. Now we just need to go to attach them to these. All right, let's go. Okay, now I'm going to take these pop panels with the flying geese attached. I'm going to set them out right like that. I'm going to take my flying geese. And remember, this would totally be wrong. I've done this before. Notice this is still upside down. I want them face to face. So it needs to be like this. So the face is up. I'm going to take my flying geese with the background panels attached. I'm going to set it on top. Notice I am lining the seam line and the seam line up as close as I can get them. And I'm pinning those together so my seams line up. I'm going to do both sides. I'm going to pin in the middle and then both of the outside edges as well. Making sure my corners are meeting. Once I have this done, I'm going to repeat this process on the other side and then as well with the other 3. Just getting everything ready to go into the machine. All right, now let's magic out the rest of these. All right, now that we have all of the flying geese with background fabric connected to our central panels and our other flying geese rows, let's run these through the machine, and all we will have left to do is iron them out, and we'll have 4 star blocks completed. All right, now that I have the first one done, let's magic out these last 3. All right, we've got all 4 sewn together, and we just need to go iron these bad boys out, and we'll be done. Let's go. All right, let's iron these out. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't believe we completed another 4 star panels today. That is so much hard work. This quilt is making some great progress. All right, now we just have to go open up those seam lines and starch it down. You can see where I hid, where I was off a little bit. Would you have hid that in your seam line, or would you have remade the flying geese? Comment below, let me know what you would have done if your flying geese was a little short. I ask because my mother-in-law recently made a quilt that called for flying geese to make bear paws. And if you'd like to see that quilt, please just let me know. I'm happy to make a couple videos showing her work. She's been quilting for almost 30 years now. Actually, I think closer to 35. But she was making some flying geese, and they were just not turning out the way she wanted. I can't tell you how many times she redid something that I've actually kept. That's why I'm curious, what would you do if your flying geese were short? Okay, let's do this last seam line. Bless you. Hear my happy baby in the background. I know I do a lot of shortcuts that eliminate y'all seeing all the tedious parts of this, but I think this project actually took me close to 8 hours. When I just do one block, it's about an hour of work time, but with taking care of the kids, I end up taking closer to 2.5 per star block, busting out all 4. I think in total it only took me about 8 hours of work over the course of 2 days. So these videos may be short, but quilting is definitely something that takes quite a bit of time and patience. I do a lot of coming back to it, a lot of time pinning, and a lot of time ironing. Actually, I think I spend more time ironing and pinning than I actually do sewing. All right, now that we've completed this one and ironed it out and gotten our seam lines opened up the way we want, let's magic out these 3. All right, there we go. And we have completed 4 blocks for today. Let's go put these in my chair. I absolutely love this chair. It is where I've been storing all of my blocks. And it has plenty of space to store everything that I need. I say that, but I am definitely running out of room in there. All right, see you guys tomorrow.